Stephen, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Sammy, and want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to find a way to earn a little extra money and talk a little bit about my story, my journey, so to speak.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear more about your story. And so we'll kick it off, as you already mentioned it. Where did it start for you trading?
I, I obviously, here's my life story, and the thumbnail is that when I got married, we tried for 13 years to have a baby, and we're not
Wow.
successful. My wife and I decided we would take on the raising of my niece, who was 4 years old at the time. About the time she
Mm,
turned 16, I had worked for 27 years for the same company. We were pioneers of pay at the pump card readers for gasoline stations. And Point, our company was sold off in a couple of different pieces. And so I went with the technology, the point of sale technology, to a company in California. And within 18 months, they laid me off. And so
wow.
I invested in a home health business. I thought, well, this will be really serving people. It'll be a very noble mission. It was the hardest thing I ever did. I never made a dime. I wrote checks for 5 years. I completely depleted my
Wow.
401k retirement. We sold our house. I was living in my RV and
No.
things just seemed awful, awful, awful. And
Oh, man.
I was working. I finally sold my franchise to a guy from Laredo that was in the business, friend of ours, and we sold our house and we're living in the RV under the bridge on I-35 in New Braunfels, Texas. And Suddenly my wife sends me this pregnancy tester, picture three pregnancy testers, and it's got the blue bars on it. And lo and behold, we're pregnant.
No
So
way.
it was like God had plans for us at a time when uh, uh, we were at the very lowest in our lives.
Yeah.
And so then I worked for this guy for 18 months. My wife found out she was pregnant again. I ended up going, you know what? This business is not for me. So I interviewed with Infosys and got a job placement in Rhode Island. And so we moved the family up to Rhode Island, lived there for 5 years. Now I'm back in Texas because we needed to get closer to aging parents. And
Mm,
so that was kind of my thumbshell, not just back of the envelope story. So 10 years I've been working at Infosys. I've started a new 401k, so I've got less than 500,000 stored up in 10 years. And I'm looking for other ways to try to get some kind of business I can do on the side that doesn't require a lot of time, but has the potential, if I can ever figure it out, right, to
yeah.
earn money. And I say if I can ever figure it out because I put an asterisk by that. I try things. I don't have time to do all that much trading on my own. So I found a guy that can write an EA. I play with some ideals back in the envelope. Let's try this. You pilot it for a little bit. You do some back testing. If it looks like it's going to work, pay the money and do a prop firm and see where they get you. And so I'm trying that. Uh, I will say I was at the point of ready to throw in the towel before this
Mm,
thing hit. If this one hadn't hit, I probably would have just hung it up and said, I don't think I can do this. So right now I'm cautiously optimistic and waiting to see where it goes. The balance is you're just trying to get enough money to where hopefully you hope your batting average gets high enough
yeah.
that you actually have some cash retention. You still
Yeah.
have to run it like a business and you have to monitor it daily and check on
Yep.
where things are and reevaluate your strategy, look at the risk, try to keep your daily losses within a manageable margin
Yeah.
so that you can survive. I mean, I guess that's the one thing, and I keep coming back to that. I'll make another dumb move, I'm sure, in the future, and I'll come back to this: keep it enough money to stay in business.
That's it.
that's
That's
that's what
it.
I'm trying to do. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's just It's just me. I feel like I'm a pioneer. I'm learning. I know I am not a trading expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like that I am, it's almost like you just pay your dues and get your education, right? So I'm in here and it
Yeah,
takes my time and it's I'm learning and I hope at some point I'll become an expert and we'll be able to generate revenue. Maybe I can do something that by the time I'm ready to retire from my day job, I have enough where I can generate revenue, but without the stress and toil of the day job, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. No,
That's
absolutely.
what I was thinking when I set this up, and that's my goal in life. And sometimes I just have to put the trading on hold because I have too much going in my life. But the nice thing of it is you can do that. You just start,
Yeah,
go do your thing, catch up at work or deal with the family, whatever, and then you can get back to trading again. So
that's it.
it's kind of got some nice advantages. I wish I knew. I wish I knew what some of these stories you see on the internet about guys who had this success and that success. You know, I'm
Yeah.
trying. I got to be me. I can only do me.
That's it. That's it. I mean, first off, what an incredible backstory, by the way. Genuinely mind-blowing. I feel like should almost be a film, or have a documentary made
Oh,
about you. What an incredible story. And
oh
congratulations
my
to you and your
goodness.
wife
Yeah,
for finally being able to conceive. That must have felt like an absolute blessing and miracle
it
when it did
absolutely
happen.
was.
Um,
Absolutely.
and yeah, one thing you said though that really stood out is treat it like a business, and that is so spot on. I mean, the biggest mistake people generally make when they get into trading is that they treat it as quick money, a way to make lots of money really fast, and that essentially means they're gambling because that's the only
Yeah.
way
Oh
you
yeah.
can
Yeah.
really make quick money is if you gamble. But treating it like a business is really the only sustainable, true method of having consistent income with trading. And you figured that out by the sounds of it pretty quickly. Probably why you're sitting where you are right now, being interviewed. So hats off to you, Stephen, because it takes usually. I mean, how long has it been since you started?
I would say a year, 18
Oh,
months. I'd
wow.
have to go back and check. So it's been a bit, but I've taken some courses. I've gone online
Yeah.
and taken some guys' courses, and I just learn at my pace and do it at my pace. It is something you can do at your pace. You don't have to feel pressured. And I have to check myself because I'd like the quick win, gambling. Should I
Of
just
course.
gamble? But it's like, stick to the strategy, stick to the strategy.
Absolutely,
So
of
anyway,
course. But look, a year, 18 months, however long it's been, that's still a tremendously fast time to be in the position you are now. I mean, most people, it takes many more years. And I think there's a level of, to be a good trader, you have to almost, people get in it for the money, obviously. Most people get into trading because they want to make money, but you have to kind of limit and fight the greed side where you want as much money as possible really
yeah, yeah,
fast. So it's a
absolutely.
balance. And I think it takes a level of maturity to become a truly consistent trader. I'm not saying you can't be a good trader at a young age, but you have to have a mature mindset in order to really conquer the game because it is about, consistent gains and it's about
Yeah,
treating it as a
yeah,
business. And I think you've been around, you've had so much experience in different industries, as you said, from different jobs. I think you know how the world works, and I think that's definitely given you an edge when it comes to trading, and that shows in your results as well. Um, I would love to know what kind of strategy, because you did mention about an EA. So have you built an EA, and the EA is the thing trading for you, or is it just more of a guide at this moment in time and you're still,
sure, sure. Just, very basic stuff, RSI, and, made it up with other indicators to just try different things. And
yeah,
some of it's just listening to other people say what they do and then just go put something together. Can I listen to what they say they did? Was there something interesting that they said that kind of makes sense? can I go cobble it together with technology? Because that's my background, right? But I'm not actually doing the cobbling. I'm just going to the Upworks, to the different rent a body who knows how to do this thing, and I ask them go build me. I put together the specifications and ask them to go build it and try it. And so
Yeah.
I'm trying that out. I even signed up for a course to build my own EAs, but I just haven't had the time to do it.
Yeah,
The
that's
shoulder issue that I have right now has kind of put a damper on me doing anything. I have to minimize what I can do by myself right now. So I just try different things to see what makes a difference. And it seems like some things that the market just kind of goes cold on this one strategy, and maybe there's a time where I pull it off the shelf and I try it again. I don't know. Or you try to
absolutely.
take a look at it and go, what do you think went wrong with that? Why do you think that went
Yeah.
wrong? Was it just like one confluence of events that the odds of it happening again are very minuscule? And so in most markets it'd be okay. And so maybe that's a worthy candidate to just run it again. Or if the
Yeah.
answer was, this is a hole in this strategy, then you got to look at, well, ask yourself, well, how can we recognize that event and put some risk mechanisms, some risk management mechanisms in
Yeah.
to avoid that in the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's fascinating. So what instruments do you mostly trade at this moment in time? Which ones are your favorite to trade?
I've been really locked in on the U.S. dollar and gold for a long time.
Mm, yeah.
But I felt like maybe that was part of the reason I got such a long dry stretch recently. Um, I'm looking at others. I feel like that the actual instrument shouldn't so much impact the strategy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
My 2 cents worth. I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, every instrument does have kind of almost its own personality, but the fundamental basics apply to every instrument you could possibly trade, So
Yeah, yeah.
if something works on gold, there's a good chance it will work on the euro, the pound, the dollar, whatever. So
Yeah, yeah. You hear
um
Euro, you hear Trump's did his deal with
yeah,
the
exactly.
European Union. So is it time to does that one start to heat up?
Time to
And
buy.
I mean, I think what you want is you want movement, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, and then obviously real world news. I mean, we are living in a time. I mean, 2025 has been very turbulent for the market. So, I mean, to be able to be a year, 18 months into trading in a time 2025 being as turbulent as it is, you've done phenomenally well, honestly. I mean, even very good traders are are finding it a bit tough this year just because of how the markets can shift so quickly. One tweet can, tank
my
certain
goodness.
markets, and it's very kind of it can catch you off guard very quickly. So
I'm honest with you. I felt like I was at the end of my wits end. I was like, nothing seems to be working. The numbers don't add up, because you expect after so many attempts at play that eventually you're going to at least get ahead and get on base and
yeah,
get to the
yeah, of
next one,
course.
and yeah. So
No, of
anyway,
course. But sticking by it, is there's so many people who've done it. You're now one of them. And as long as you keep sticking to what you're currently doing, and like you said, the risk management side, very, very important. I'm sure you'll go very far, and you'll learn along the way. You're only 18 months in the grand
yeah,
scheme of
right.
things, you're still very much on the beginner side of trading. There's people who are 20 years in and they're still learning. So it's
Yeah.
almost a never-ending process of being a trader because the markets evolve as well over time. So you kind of have to adapt
Yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah. No,
markets.
so I'm looking at it like this curve, ups and downs. Okay, I make some
Yeah,
money and then no turns, and I have periods where I'm not making money. But so long as I just don't have to dip into additional savings to
yeah,
restart my trading business, then I'm like, I'll be there. I'm gonna figure this out. I got that confidence, but
Yeah,
it's just remaining patient and trying to keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. And
that's it.
you gotta stay focused on it and run it like a business.
100%.
I mean, it's like every day, even though you can automate pieces of it, every day you got to check in, you got to monitor what's happening, where's it going. Am I good to just let it go, or what is the market telling me I need to learn for today? What is my lesson for the day?
That is
And you're
it.
paying
That
for
is
that
it.
lesson, you know. I mean, you're paying for it. You're paying for it in your time. You're paying for it in your capital that it takes to get moving. But hopefully, there's an earnout. Hopefully, it's an investment in the future, and there's a payout
Absolutely.
down the road.
Absolutely. And you know, every strategy is like I like to think of every strategy as almost like a product in a business, right? You might have one strategy which is, let's say, an umbrella. You're selling umbrellas. There's going to be times in winter you'll sell a lot, but in summertime the sales will dry up, and that strategy
Yeah,
might not
yeah,
work too
that's a
well in
good
those
thought. Yeah,
conditions, you know. So you
good
can
way to
almost
look
kind
at
of
it. Yeah,
get a collection, a catalog of different you
yeah,
know, strategies, different that work in different environments, different times, and just use which one works best at that current point in time of you know what kind of condition the market's in. If it's very turbulent times, if it's ranging, if it's trending, and you kind of adapt with it. But once you have your catalog of strategies that you like to employ,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know, there'll never be a day where you can't you know, at least get one trade in and it might be pretty decent. So, but like I said, you keep learning and you've done phenomenally well so far. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on you because I think you're going to go very far in this business. Just judging from how quick you've done it already. But I would love to move on really quickly about trading psychology. So psychology is obviously probably one of the biggest reasons most people fail in trading. They risk too much. They're not treating it as a business. They're seeing it as a slot machine, essentially. How did you kind of grasp the concept very quickly? Hey, this is a business. Treat it as a business. Don't gamble. Don't overtrade. Don't, you know, do all the bad stuff that a lot of traders would
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So I would say some of the business failure in my life. I gave the example of the home healthcare agency, and in that business, I worked very, very hard. I think maybe there could have been some work that I did up front to try to better understand um, the industry and the metrics in the industry, if you will. And so maybe what I'm trying to say is there's a hit and miss ratio out there. You can go out and you can look at different people's sites and you can get different numbers, but they all coalesce around certain facts. And you know, traders, my numbers, 3 out of 4 challenges that I do are going to be failures.
Mm,
I'm going to step up to the plate. I'm going to pay my money for a prop firm, and I'm going to fail 3 out of 4 times. And
yeah.
then if it's a two phase, you know, I'm going to fail some of those second phase before I get a funded account. I've had funded accounts and failed to get a payout. It
Mm,
happens. So the psychology is you got to know the numbers and you got to stick to the plan.
yeah.
So if you draw those numbers up and you'll come up with a budget for, okay, I'm going to enter this as a business. I'm going to do this many challenges. You work out what your numbers are. This many failures, this many success, phase 1, phase 2, funded, and then figure out, okay, arithmetically, if I invest 20,000 in this business, then over this amount of time, I should have this number of successes. And so then you enter into the business and you start marching along. You put your strategies to work for you, and try try more than one so that you're not putting all your eggs in the proverbial one basket. Just keep doing it, and don't go out and spend all the money from the good times. Yeah, and that I fortunately was very disciplined about that. Um, I've been on this roller coaster, but like I said, I think at some point I get good enough at it that I can generate revenue that I can consume. And
Yeah.
how do I know when that point is? I'm kind of like, okay, when I got a whole year of revenue booked up, and I feel like now I'm into year two, and maybe halfway through that one, it's still going great. I'm going to keep some cash reserve, maybe a year worth of earnings in reserve before I let my wife get her hands on any of the excess cash from this business.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I
Again,
mean, it's
oh,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely. That's the right way to do it. You know, with so many people, they'll have success, maybe a good month, good 2 months or something, and the first thing they do, they take out a lease payment on some fancy car, and they've tied up all their money in a depreciating asset. And if their third month isn't great, now they can't pay the bill,
Oh yeah,
and
that would
then
be
their car
horrible.
gets repossessed, and then they're in a worse position than they were originally, so
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. You're going to live within your means. You've got to be smart and, think ahead, save up. Don't spend every penny that comes in, because you'll always be playing catch up. I mean, someone can give you $1 million tomorrow, and hey, plenty of people can spend $1 million very quickly. Even $1 million isn't enough for a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people. So you got to be,
Well,
yeah,
I mentioned that, from my business failures, I feel like there's also learnings from that, right? And so that's why I'm
absolutely.
like just very disciplined about I'm not looking for a fancy car. I'm looking for, okay, when I can't work anymore, I got cash flow, maybe cash stored up that I can live off
Mm,
of and pay the bill. So
absolutely.
uh, that's kind of it. I mean, I got boys 10, 11. I'm 61.
Oh,
So
wow. You
so
look great for your age. You look absolutely great for your age.
anyway, so that's it. That's my story. It's kind of exciting. My boys, my oldest boy, each of my boys, I gave a stock trading account, and my oldest boy is kind of looking a little bit at the trading that I'm doing, but he hasn't shown a whole lot of interest in it yet because I think he's got plenty on his plate at the moment. But at some point,
Mm,
I would love him to be able to step in and do a similar kind of thing so that he can do what he wants to in life
yeah.
as opposed to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh,
So that would be a
absolutely. Yeah.
great gift if you could teach your kids how to make a living out of
Yeah.
trading in a way that was not speculative and gambling, but in a way that was like a business.
Oh, 1,000,000%. And I like to think of trading as quite future proof. I mean, who knows, with AI developing as fast as it is developing now, that I feel there's a lot of jobs in the future that will be at a high risk of probably becoming
Oh
obsolete.
yeah, yeah.
But with
But
trading, I mean, the markets are open. It's you in the market. No one can stop you from trading as long as you know what you're doing. No AI
yeah,
can
but you just hit
technically
you
replace
hit
you.
well, that's one of the nails that was a driver for me because you just hear so much about it, and like with this surgery, so I got access to the enterprise co-pilot package. Well, it can do meeting minutes and action items better than I can. It
Yeah.
allows me to focus on the meeting now. So there's it's a very real concern that at some point some of our jobs will just be gone. That's
Mm,
another motivating factor for me is like so
absolutely.
if I know AI can do it, and so that's the next thing for me is, well, how do you leverage AI in our trading algorithms? That piece I haven't figured out yet, but I'm trying to figure out the underlying technology first and the underlying just industry EAs and the different pieces. And then once I kind of get that under my belt, then I might try to answer the question of how can I use AI to do this for me? How can I do
Yeah.
this in a way? How can I get AI to recognize some of those risk areas? And
Yes.
don't go here. Today would not be a good day to do this. Take this out and do it, or something like that.
Absolutely. No,
It'll get there eventually.
you're thinking on the right track 100%. Utilize AI. I mean, AI is going to be there. It's not going away anytime soon. If you can utilize it to upgrade your trading, absolutely go for it. I think the in the future there's going to be a nice kind of combination of human and AI kind of interaction when it comes to trading. Even for most retail traders, there'll be some kind of AI helping them, maybe helping them break down certain analysis or whatever. There'll definitely be that AI element that's going to become very prevalent, I think, soon, even in the trading world. So definitely, if you can jump on board with that and kind of, get there early, you'll have a huge head start for people who basically don't. Um, Stephen, I would love to know and just move on a little bit. So you've passed an account with us, you're funded, you've had a payout. How has your experience been with Ola Prime so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I couldn't believe the payout. The From the time that I saw, oh, I'm in the black, pause everything, right? Go to the portal and request a payout. Okay, they requested the payout. There was no delay. There was no weeks, 10 days for somebody in the back office to look at it, and no call to support to discuss several different things. It was just instantly, it was moved over. And I got an email immediately. Hey, we got yours. Please expect a payout within 1 hour. Boom, an hour, a payout. I've never had that. It's like, wow, that was amazing, fantastic. This is when I find out is the prop firm for real or not, because
Yeah.
I've run into others where, I talked about you do a half a dozen challenges, you finally get to a funded payout, and then you find out, oh, you know what? They're not going to pay, not now, not ever. I had
Yeah.
one where I did resets and ran it
Mm.
again, and I finally concluded these guys are never ever going to pay me for anything
Yeah.
because there was
It's
always some reason they came up with to not pay. So
yeah, it's a shame. It's a
hats
shame
off to you guys.
companies like that exist, but what can you do? I mean, that's the modern world. Unfortunately, there's always bad actors in every industry. But look, I'm so glad that you found a prop firm that you can trust now. We hope that you keep trading with us. Keep keep doing those good trades. We'll keep sending you your payouts. And I always say, look, there's no reason a prop firm should be holding your money for a week or however long or however many days. At the end of the day, we can accept your money instantly. Why can't we send you your money back as
Well,
the
it was
same
a
speed?
fantastic experience.
So
I'll tell you that.
it's only fair, right? So it's your money at the end of the day. There's no reason for us to hold on to it. Have it within an hour, as long as the payment processing fee, not fee, the payment processing time and all that
Yeah, yeah,
takes a few
all
minutes
those
of
mechanisms.
course.
Sure,
But
sure.
yeah, so that's what we decided to do, and we're so glad that people appreciate it as well, like yourself. So yeah, Stephen, thank you so much for all the kind words you're saying, for sharing your story. It's been a fascinating story. It's definitely well worth calling up someone from Hollywood and seeing trying to sell your life story because what a story it's been. I
Yeah,
could definitely see that hitting the cinemas at some point. So might be another business opportunity there one day for you.
yeah.
But apart from that, thank you so much for coming on, Stephen. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope we can do this again as you get more payouts in the future. We can interview you, and
Absolutely, Sammy.
yeah, that'd be great.
Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
And to all the viewers, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, turn on channel notifications, and also join us on Discord. There's a button down below in the description where you can join our Discord. It's completely free. And it's a great place for you to find, a community of traders like yourself, all sharing ideas. There's exclusive competitions, so much good stuff on our Discord. So it's well worth joining. And you can interact with our coaches at Ola Prime TV. So well worth joining. It's completely free. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care.
Hola Prime, trade with transparency.